Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Munster. Hope you guys are having a great day today. So today's video is going to be pretty interesting. Junkfood Arcades was awesome and sent us the brand new Snackbox Micro black tint. This is the smoke tint case. And what I wanted to do with today's video is I wanted to do a bit of a deconstruction, take it apart. I want to show you guys how to take it apart, how to properly switch out art, switches, buttons, because any electronic, when you're modding something or doing any modifications, customization to it, there's a risk of you breaking something. Happened to me multiple times. It's happened to people I know, and I wanted to make a comprehensive video for anyone who's looking to customize this thing, because it is the most modular controller on the market right now, at least that I know of. The first thing you're going to need is a screwdriver. It's really all you're going to need. That's really all you're really going to need for something like this. What I did is I picked up this little thing here. It's a little Doris on Amazon. It's a little screwdriver case. It's meant for small electronics, so I can take apart electronics and stuff like that. And it works great. I'll put the link in the description. Anyways, let's get right into it. All right, so today's video is going to be focusing on the micro art case. So we're not going to be looking at the deconstruction of, say, a one-piece case, which this is the purple version of the one-piece case. It's brand new. You can check this out. We're gonna have a video on this coming out coming weeks, but the customization is going to be pretty similar. The only difference that you're going to see is there's no acrylic top split here. So when you take off the one-piece case, you'll just have this entire shell be removed, and then you'll go straight to the PCB, whereas this one is going to be a little longer of a process because you have to take off the art plate and then you're taking off the back plate, which is the PCB. So let's get right into it. So you're gonna flip it around on the back. You have your screwdriver. This is a Phillips, a small little Phillips. And you're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna unscrew all these in the back. So when you put the screwdriver in, you just want to press and put them somewhere we are going to not lose them. I suggest doing this on a flat surface, because then you can put all your little screws in this little corner here. Right? You can put them all in a little corner, and then you're not going to lose them. There are 5 screws that you want to unscrew in the back. It's the most screw driving you're going to do. The rest is all by hand. So you're gonna take off the back plate, and what's cool about the initial customization here is I don't have it, but if you want to add a more heavy feel, you remove this plate and you get the heavy metal plate, and then you replace it into here. So that's all you would do for that type of customization. Anyways, back plate's off. Here's our PCB. So we're gonna flip the micro around, and this is all you would do. So if you want to customize your art, you are taking off this top plate here, right? There you go, top plate gone. Art removed, right? Boom. That's literally all you would need to do. This is also great if you want to clean your art as well, because dirt and dust can get under the plate itself. And so if you want to, say clean it, then you can do that to just get all the dust off. So now that we've taken our art off, we're now presented with just this PCB, and then you also have the buttons on top. And so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna just, take out the buttons. Now, this is where people break their stuff, because a lot of people don't know how to take out the buttons. They just kind of rip them off, and you're not supposed to do that. It's not the way to take out these buttons. You want to just sort of lift up. You want to lift up. You want to pull up. You don't want to pull to the side. You don't want to pull to the side. You don't want to pull this way. You don't want to pull this way. You want to lift up. And when you lift it up, sometimes you're going to get a switch attached with your button, because the buttons are really in there. And that's okay too, because if you want, customize your switches, you totally can. Just so I can sort of take it apart and show you guys. This is the amber switch. This is the concave black button, and we'll do this just for all of them, just to show you. You want to pull up, so you want to kind of wedge your fingers underneath and just leverage it up, directly up. You don't want to go off on any angle. Please don't go off on any angle. You will break your switch, and then you'll have to contact Junkfood, and I don't know if they'll give you a replacement. All right, I'm just saying, because it's kind of your own fault. So don't break it. Don't break it. Don't bend these little pins. These little pins here, I don't know if the camera's going to focus on them, but those little pins are your switch. And if those little pins break, this switch is unusable. They're very delicate little pins. I usually put my 2 fingers and then 1 thumb under, and then I just pull up, right? That's it. You're just going to pull up. Another method is you just put 1 finger under here and then the other 2 under, and you just pop it up. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Okay, great. Now you're like, okay, now what do I do? Because now I just have my PCB. So you're gonna pull this up and you see the buttons here all fell out, and those are gonna be your control buttons that are all for the top here. All right. So now we have our PCB, and what you can do with this is you can actually swap out the PCB if you were planning on switching to a PS5 board. This is a PS5 board. Note that little solder here, this black square, that means you have the PS5 PCB. If you do not have this black square here, then you do not have the PS5 PCB. Just letting you know. And here you can also switch your case. So if you wanted to switch to the clear case, or if you wanted to switch to the smoke tint case, that's what we did here with this PCB. Is we had the clear case and we switched to the smoke tint case. I think it's one of the most beautiful cases, especially complements for art. It gives a very dark style tint to whatever art you have on the sides. It's a really nice little accent. I really love it. But anyways, let's put it back together, because I feel like that is also a challenge for people who are like, well, what do I do now that I've taken this all apart? How do I put this thing back together? I will go ahead and show you. This is also really good information for anyone who they get a case from their friend, but they don't have any of the parts. They just have the shell here. They have this in the back panel and the art plate. And they're like, okay, well, how do I put it together? Because I've bought everything. I've bought my buttons here, my little buttons. I've bought my switches. I've bought everything. What am I supposed to do next? And I'm going to show you how to put this thing back together and how to build a Snackbox Micro. They build them in-house. From what I know, all the Snackbox Micros are done by hand, which is insane because of how many they sell. We want to put these buttons back. So you see them, the flat piece is going to go facing up, and the pointed up piece is going to be facing you when you flip your micro over. So you're going to put them all back in. There should be, if I recall, 7 buttons. You want to put all 7 buttons back in. Great. Take your PCB, hold it by the edges. That's just how you want to be as safe as possible with computer components. And then you want to just put it down here. Let it sit. When you lift it up like this, you'll see it'll kind of settle. This is the only tricky part that you will ever have to do, is you have to get your first switch in, because your first switch is going to sort of anchor everything in. So you're going to take your switch, take your button. Let's say, for example, you ended up taking apart both the buttons and the switch. Say you just have your little switch, you pieced it off, and you're good to go. It's just the switch. We're not talking about with the button. It's just the switch. I just want to show this as comprehensive as possible. This is tricky. I'm gonna break this down for you guys as easily as I can, but you're essentially going to take the switch and you're gonna put it in upside down, because you have to anchor it. If you flip this, then your top pieces are gonna fall out, right? So you're gonna lift it up. I just lift this thing up. Find the 2 corner holes. That's your main priority. I'll show you guys more when I get this in. You'll hear a little click, and that's it. Your switch is in. Okay, so once you get your switch in, you can flip the micro back up and everything else just becomes so much easier. I'll show you guys the angle that you want to put these switches in. So there's 2 prongs here. This one here and this one here is there's 2 holes, and then there's 2 prongs. That prong, the one in the corner, top corner here, and that one here, right? So those 2 holes. And so you want to line up your switch with your switch's prongs with those 2 holes, right? That's how you know your switch is upright. So you just take it, and you push it in until it clicks. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. And so we're going to go do that for every single piece. Do not press too hard. You just want to press until you hear a bit of a click. You don't hear a click on all of them, that's okay, but you just want to press in until you know it's there and you can't like just pull it off. That's literally it. You don't want to push too hard. Don't push too hard. You'll damage the PCB and you won't be able to use your controller. I cannot stress this enough. You want to be nice to this thing, all right? It is a computer component still, right? It's electronics. You want to be nice to electronics. If you're not nice to electronics, they will not be nice back to you. Now, to put on the buttons, if the buttons have fallen off, or if you've taken off the buttons and just had the switches, say you switched out your switches or anything like that, there's little dots here, those little ends here. Those little ends you want to line up with the little ends here. It's pretty straightforward, but I thought I'd also let you know how to do that there. You take your art, put your art back down, lightly on top. Then you take your plexi, your acrylic top, put that down there, and then we're going to take it And we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna take our plate. And like I said, if you're switching to a metal, you'd also put your heavy metal down instead here. And we're just gonna put our hand there. And now we're gonna take our screws and we're gonna do the middle one first. So what the middle one does is the middle one is not securing our case together. It is securing our PCB to the snack box and our case to the snack box as well. Okay, so you get your middle screw first. Then after that, you get the corner pieces in. I mean, you can technically do it any way you want, but I like getting the middle one in first. But you can go ahead and go any way you like. And you're not tightening these screws until they're so freaking tight that you're gonna need a drill after, right? You are just tightening these screws until they are just tight enough. If you over tighten these screws, you will crack your acrylic. So you need to screw it until it is fastened in and it sort of stops. You don't need to go crazy with it, okay? Because if you crack your acrylic, that's the entire case that you'd be cracking. It's not the art plate, it's the case. And if you crack that, then you are not doing good. Okay, all done. Okay, you can go ahead and flip your micro over. You are good to go. That is the completed Snackbox Micro. That's how you build a Snackbox Micro. That's how you put one together. That's how you take one apart. Easy peasy. Should be done in less than 10 minutes if you're efficient with it. I hope that was comprehensive enough for you guys. I really appreciated all the support on the last videos. I hope this one helps. It'll be chaptered out and sectioned off, so that way if you're looking to do something very specific on your micro, you could just skip to that part of the video. We will have more videos coming out this week, as well as more videos coming out in the next month. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new, like the video and subscribe. Comment what your thoughts are on the modularity of the Snackbox Micro, and have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.